Hello, Naya's Family Collective. This is Sarah and Sophie on Thursday afternoon, and I thought that we should start introducing our pets to each other. I have a huge pet family. I just came from the animal shelter, and I just love all kinds of pets, and they really, really enhance our life. She's purring. I wish y'all could hear her. We got another kitty over there, but I just tried to turn the camera and show you another kitty, and let me see if I can do it again. It cut off before, so okay. I don't know if you can see Miss Sasha over there. We have more kitties inside and out. Okay, I wanted to talk to y'all a little bit about astrology. I've been doing astrology for so long that I wouldn't know where to start describe things to you, but I wanted to give you a website, a free website where you could put in some information and get some information about your own chart. I am retired. I do readings on the side. I did Naya's and G-Man's gratis because, you know, they've got this whole channel starting, but I do need money. It does take time, so I just charge very little, $50 every time I do a chart. There's astrologers that charge $200 and $300 and something that's really difficult for people to pay. But anyway, I think Miss Sophie is a Libra. She's so sweet. Astrology is the oldest language known to man. All the ancient philosophers, Plato, Socrates, any of the geniuses, Einstein, they all used it. In the ancient times, you couldn't be a doctor or anything without knowing astrology first. Anything occult has been swept under the table because they don't want us to have the keys to living. But like your DNA and your chromosomes, which don't control your life, as you know, in this day and age. I mean, they say maybe, 25%, if that much. Your astrology chart doesn't control your life, but it's energetically and spiritually a very important part of you that you designed before coming into this life, kind of like as a weather pattern or an imprint pattern of some goals and some things you wanted to work with. And within every chart, there's keys to overcome your challenges, and there are some fated points, but again, nothing is written in stone. But let me give you the name of that website so you can write down. It is, ready? It is www.astro.com. And I think it's out of Denmark. I think it's called Astrodienst. But anyway, you can create a profile and log on. I pay for their extras, for extra storage room and a database and some other extra features. But you can do your birth chart and some other things in there. And start learning about yourself. That's how I did, just little by little. I first learned numerology in my 20s when I was studying metaphysics. I didn't really believe in numerology or astrology because I thought it was forbidden, you know, in the Christian Bible. But I'm very curious, and my parents, who I greatly admired, because my mother was an English teacher and my father was a CPA, and they started getting into metaphysics in their 50s. And I greatly admired them, and I just read a lot of their books and just thought, hey, what's going on now? It took me about 3 years to start putting two and two together with numerology. It's not an overnight thing. None of these are quick studies. Learning your birth chart is a lifetime. I'm still learning about mine. There's many other charts that you can do beyond your natal or birth chart, but it has to start with your birth chart. I took classes. I had great teachers. I did everything on the QT, you know, especially when I was in the business world. Don't turn around, baby. Don't turn around. Don't turn around. You. Anyway, like I said, it's www.astro.com, and I pay to email files back and forth and things like that. And it takes me a couple days of looking at somebody's chart before I can figure some things out and get a feeling about it. It is like an intuitive interpretation. I did it, I got into it, really started getting in. I had a lot of readings, but I really started learning astrology around 35. I had a really great teacher. She was head of personnel at an oil company in Corpus Christi, but she had to keep it secret, which she did on the side too, of course. But once I saw my chart and somebody started to explain it to me, I went, yep, that's me. But there's a lot of tools in there you can learn to use, and you can lean into life and realize that it won't kill you, and just face different things that you need to face. Now, a lot of people don't want to look that deep. That's fine. You know, we all have different personality types. I think I told G-Man that I just need to know 4 things about someone in order to get along with them. I can adjust my personality to them. I'm very, very Pisces, which makes me really, really malleable. But I'm also, my first house is Aries, so I got a little spunk to me. Let's see. But the 4 things that I need to know about someone, and I get this from your birth date and your birth chart. And it doesn't do any good if you don't have the exact time or don't really tell me where your birth city, because, you know, it's just giving us wrong information, like somebody else's blood or somebody else's urine. It just doesn't help at all. But your sun sign, of course, is your month and day of birth. Like, I'm February 20th, so I'm on the cusp of Aquarius and Pisces, and that's called an Aquasis. And my rising sign is also Pisces. It's a little double lesson there in Pisces. My moon sign is Gemini. And then my biorhythm, or my numeric life path, is 22. Now, those 4 things will stay the same all your life. It's kind of like in this lifetime, if you're already born a woman in a certain ethnic group, certain set of DNA, that you can improve on that and you can grow, but certain things, unless you get an operation or whatever, aren't going to change, because the total free will is on the other side, and things kind of crystallize once you decide to be born in this body. And you still have a lot of free will, but the total free will is on the other side, and then you show up on Earth in whatever form you wanted to experience in this go-round. Come into the picture. Come into the picture. I'll show you. Meow. She's an older cat. She's my sweetie pie. All I've been seeing, I've done phone readings, and mostly, you know, I do face-to-face readings. I've done email readings, but I've never put myself on the internet, because I only wanted to really interact with people who were spiritually open and spiritually to the point where they were wanting to accept and learn certain things about themselves. When I used to do just astrology across the board for extra money, there were so many people that didn't know anything about it, and they had Christian hang-ups and this and that, and I couldn't even get past a couple of sentences, because I would say, well, this is good or bad? Is this good or bad? That's like saying the tree or the ocean, or like blue or red. You know, I couldn't get anywhere. They were just so afraid of anything I would try to describe about their self. Now, you know, when astrology started out, all we could see is the moon and the planets near us. But then, through the ages, they've discovered the outer planets, and we're still discovering objects and asteroids and things in the heavens. And so astrology does unfold. And there, a couple years ago, there was a talk of a 13th sign. I think it's called Ovicus or something, and that's between, it's either between Scorpio and Sag, or Sag and Capricorn. Doesn't matter. We're not using that right now. I'm sure that we will progress to the point. It's just like when astronomy demoted Pluto, because they found Pluto was part of the asteroid band, and there was other asteroids like Ceres, which is actually bigger than Pluto. Well, anyway, right now, as far as archetypes, we still use Pluto. But it's ever evolving, and there's so many different branches of astrology, I couldn't even name them to you. But I don't really do future or predictions. I'm not really interested in that. I'm interested in, since I have a master's in psychology, I'm interested in soul-centered astrology, humanistic astrology, and to help people about their life. Like, it really helped me with the illnesses that I had and the marriage and divorces I had, certain personality traits that were a pickle. But again, you have to choose to work with them. My current husband, he really, he accepts all that, and he asks me to look at his chart now and then, but he's just not, doesn't hang on my every word. It just helps guide us. And, I go for weeks and months without looking at astrology, but it is part of me. It's what I tick to. Just like the solar system looks like an atom. As above, so below. And as the human population has, waken up, there's certain things that we accept about ourselves. We use the planets as archetypes. The vibration of the planets, like I have Saturn in Libra. Don't go. Well, like I have Saturn in Libra. So I carry that particular vibration of what that means. And then the aspects, the planets make mathematical aspects to each other. And that creates certain personality types. It's very, very interesting. Like I said, your birth chart alone is a lifelong study. And here again, I'm sure that G-Man can pin me down and ask me better questions than me just rambling. There are generational planets, and there are planets like the configuration we started having about 5 years ago kind of kicked off a lot of paradigm changes. The planets in general were kind of similar to what we had back in the 60s with the riots and the race equality, and now with the age of Aquarius, which we're barely beginning. Because on Earth time, it takes about 500 years for one age to end, another to begin. But we knew that this time, 2012 and above, would be very tumultuous, and for a reason. And so all of us here are pioneers, and we chose to be here to help with this transition. Astrology is my second language, literally. I think in astrology, I think in the aspects, I think in the planet signs and places. I have a really good memory once I see somebody's chart. And so sometimes I can come on and give y'all, some updates. But here again, that's really not my thing, like other astrologers do on YouTube. I even study some Vedic astrology, sometimes some Indian astrology, just because that's so far off from what I ever learned. It's just interesting for me to learn about it. But it's enhanced my life, just like metaphysics has enhanced my life. Just like when I started studying NDEs, any type of NDE, hot and heavy, about 10 years ago, it's really been a comfort. And when my mom was ill and she passed away like 8 years ago, just all that kind of stuff, she and I studied it together. But y'all guys can ask me some questions like you asked Naya. And really want G-Man to interview me, because I really, like I said, it's it's part of me. I don't know what to come out and even tell you individually. As we grow older, we grow into our rising sign, because that's kind of our spiritual assignment. And again, the only way that you can know that is you've got to get on a site and plug in your birth date, your time of birth, which is extremely important, let me emphasize, and your place of birth. And that's www.astro.com is what I use. But just wanted to tell you guys this today and introduce you to one of my kitties. Talk to you later. Have a good evening. Night-night.